Hey, so we had a little impromptu warm up. I don't know how many people caught that, but it is what it is. I'm glad everybody could join us tonight. As you're coming into the room, let us know that you're here, and we'll get the show started very soon. We have another special co-host tonight. Mr. Sally Sasson is home and under the weather, so we'll have her introduce herself in a second. But before I start the show, I just want to make this announcement. If you're hurt in a motor vehicle, construction, or slip and fall, and you need a shark in that courtroom to get you that money, please contact our guy, Craig Rossick. He's at 212-953-1818. Mr. Rossick has years and years of experience in litigation. Don't call these flimsy attorneys that you see on TV or on bumper stickers. You have to call Craig Rossick, 212-953-1818. Okay, so it's Hispanic Heritage Month, and as you can see, I got the Young Lords repping on my hoodie. Salute to my guy Chino, as I know him. I'm not gonna yell out his government. Of KC Customs for You, always doing every hoodie you see me wear on the show is designed by KC Customs for You. Go over to Instagram, patronize. There's a lot of Sunset Park wear there as well, and you could also request the set hoodies over there. Make sure you check him out. And as I said,
I have this shirt.
Oh, there's another one. Well, this is from our other brothers from Sunset Park. Our guy Kest and our guy Ribs. I know we see them here all the time. And this is hardware that one of their designs, and I've wore this shirt before. And as you can see, Miss B Chanel requested it, so she has it on now too.
This is from the Gap. No.
Gap Couture.
So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna run this track, and then we're gonna start the show. All right, let's go.
Fix my baggy turtleneck.
You're a fool.
Can they still hear us?
Yeah, they can hear us. We're on. Love it.
Let it do what it
Good evening. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Mr. A.
B Chanel.
Imogene. The hell?
And this is the set 6145. As always, I'm glad everybody could be with us tonight. As you can see, our special co-host sitting in for Mr. Sasson, who's under the weather. We have the infamous Mrs. A joining us tonight. And as always, Miss B Chanel is back at it. So we're going to open up the floor and we're going to start our discussion. And as I said, as you're coming into the room, just make yourself be known. Let me know that you're here in the building with us, all right? So what are we jumping off with tonight? Oh, wait. I'm sorry. Again, Hispanic Heritage Month. You people need to start teaching your kids a little bit more about our history. Our history doesn't just start here when we were, forced to immigrate here in the workforce. There's a lot of rich history in Puerto Rico, and it's something that I feel that everybody should be teaching to their kids. From the indigenous people that inhabited the island all the way into the mixture when the Spaniards took over, and then when the Yankees came through. There's a lot of rich history in Puerto Rico. So I would advise or I would implore you to start teaching your kids more and more about history of Puerto Ricans. And this is a good jump off point. There's a movie called Pa'lante Siempre Pa'lante. It's about the history of the Young Lords, which is our sort of Black Panthers movement. You should really look into it. PBS has it. I'm sure you can find it online. Go check that out. That's a good jump off point. Kids will get really interested in that, seeing our people out there.
There's also a book.
What's the name of the book?
The same title.
Same title.
Oh, they have it in a book? I didn't know that. Oh, okay.
I have a copy.
Wait.
Is your copy?
So how did you know that?
No, I was gonna say, but the crazy. You want to know the crazy thing about that? I got that book at the premiere of the documentary.
I've been trying to find the documentary, and it's like so hard to find.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh,
you have to pay like $200 just to rent it.
Really?
What?
That's when I got into it.
Okay.
That was like a couple years ago.
That kind of like took the wind out of your sails?
Yeah, I was like, Okay, yeah.
But if you got the book from me, why don't you just say, hey,
But it's different when you have visuals.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying she should have just said, hey, I can't find this. Can you?
Next time.
She's like, nah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm over it. That feeling of fighting the power has long been gone. So are you feeling better?
Yeah, I'm good.
Good. Very glad to have you back. Sasong's on the Imodium AD right now. Respectfully.
Have fun.
For real. What's going on, B. Chanel?
So I thought we would start off with, I don't want to go too deep into it because we all already know
Right.
what is going on with this person.
Mm-hmm.
But I just thought it would be interesting to talk a little bit about
Okay.
our different takes of it. So I'm sure you can't get on Instagram or talk to anybody without somehow mentioning Kanye West. Musical genius. I do not want to take that away from him.
Right.
Musical genius. He's written one of my favorite albums. College Dropout, to me, will be top tier, top 5 albums for the rest of my life. It's a fantastic album. That's how I heard of him, as most of us have. But, recently, in the last couple of years, especially after his mom died, we've been seeing what's been going on. When I first got on the show, I talked about the relationship with Kim Kardashian and the Pete Davidson thing, which they didn't really last very long.
I think we all saw that coming.
Yeah, we all know what that was. But it started, I feel like the last couple of weeks, it started with the White Lives Matter shirt. And then it turned into him going on with Tucker Carlson on whatever freaking show Tucker Carlson has.
The Tucker Carlson show.
Yeah. And then him saying stuff on there and his runway shows. And then, I think 2 days ago, it came out. I think he put out that he was watching, porn with the Adidas execs. Actively.
What sense does that make?
And then he's, wondering why you're not going to have a good business rapport if this is what you're bringing to the table.
That is very true.
So I just and we all know what's going on. He's mentally ill. It's totally understandable. As Josh said, you could see it in his face. He's manic. You can just, it's there. But it's at what point do we stop looking at this train that's hanging off the rails and be like, this guy needs help. We cannot keep feeding into this shit show, basically.
Right.
So I just kind of wanted to know what you guys thought about this thing going on.
Was College Dropout an imprint in your musical life?
I really appreciated the album.
Yeah, right?
Yes.
I did too.
It was really good.
It was very good.
Yeah, I know the whole album by heart. I can rap the whole thing.
What were you? What
I was in middle school.
You were in middle school at that time?
I remember, I didn't have a phone. I remember, the CD, putting the CD in and then, recording it on my phone.
I've done that.
Yeah.
Recording it on her sidekick.
Yeah. So it definitely was very impressionable for me. It was and I've always loved hip hop, but to me, that's top tier. Alonzo will disagree with me.
Alonzo should disagree with you, right, Alonzo?
He'll disagree with me and say that some other album was top tier for Kanye, but I feel like that, to me, it's what put him on the map. And I don't know if you've seen the documentary recently that came out.
Amazing documentary.
It was really, really, really
was
good.
It does not call my attention.
No?
There was
At
some
all.
slow parts, but I think it was really good to see
mean-
kind of...
People are telling me if you want to understand the man, look at the documentary.
Yeah, I could definitely see that.
I think there's
all of it.
But there's sort of a disconnect. When you look at the documentary, you understand, you reconnect with the person the producer and rapper that you were like, this is the next, as they say, the second coming, right? He created this whole new resurgence of sort of backpack rap during a time of that gangster rap is just continued to dominate. Now comes this kid out of Chicago who's dressing like a prep, wearing polos and fleeces and all that stuff, and he made it cool. He veered hip hop off of its axis at that point. Now when you look at Kanye and you understand his illness, you're totally opposite ends of the spectrum.
Yeah.
Right? He's completely a different person. And I understand we all grow and evolve, but we're looking at somebody that's dealing with mental illness.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a disconnect. But to see the documentary is to understand sort of his grind, his trials and tribulations getting that first album to press.
Like you see him go into the Rockefeller building and he's like trying to play this album and
he's
people
all
are
hype.
like,
Yeah, like
whatever, bro.
Can you calm down? I got work to do.
yeah. And he's like rapping and they're like,
Going in.
Well, maybe
yeah.
I'll look at that for that part.
Yeah.
But
it definitely
is.
was like, it's like cringy. Like you're like, oh, this is like, you feel like you shouldn't have to see this because you see him in his infancy of just,
Yeah, that's the cringy part.
like you see
but
the
again,
making
I feel
of the
like
Jesus
the
walk.
music tells the story of his grind, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm good with the music.
Yeah, I don't need
I'm
to see all
good.
that.
I don't-
Yeah.
More yap from your mouth. I don't need to hear it. Now sing all that. I'm awesome. But the
Yeah.
No,
yap,
but that's exactly what so just imagine, right?
so
Kanye
intrusive.
Kanye is an artist producer, right? And he decides I want to rap, right? In this moment where he's breaking into the business. Now there's a camera following him, and that's what you're witnessing. You're witnessing his sort of birth
Right.
as a rapper. So you're seeing all these interesting moments and people specifically that you see around him before he snapped, I'll say, that worship.
This was like a childhood friend that
Right.
was recorded.
Like I kind of
Yeah.
know the basis of how the
Right.
whole documentary was developed and everything.
And that's why I think it'll hold your attention because it's really an in-depth look at that moment. It's like, oh shit. Like, look at Jay-Z just acting like he doesn't exist. You know what I'm saying? Like that,
yeah.
you can't think about it that way now because it's
No,
like,
not at all.
you know? Well,
You think
guess-
at a certain point there was Jay-Z and then you instantly thought of Kanye.
Kanye,
Like
yeah.
they was one and the same.
Yeah.
At a certain point. So it was really good. But to kind of just see this person now kind of
go off the rails.
off the rails and
Yeah.
on their like doing it to themselves. That's at a certain point you're kind of doing it to yourself.
So that's the thing. I feel
feel
like
like-
he's. Well, maybe I need to stop putting him in a box and kind of figure out what made him. Do I care? Yeah.
No, not at all. I don't give a shit. No. I don't care.
No, but I'm the type of person I like to unravel things and find
Yeah.
out why they think the way they think.
Yeah.
Right.
But with him, I just.
I think if you watch this documentary, that would give you the answer without you really wanting to know the answer.
Okay.
If that makes sense. But it's definitely, like, it was just a really good documentary, to be fair. That dude, anyway, I can go on a whole rant about that guy, but
Wait. Let me interrupt you for a second. Favorite song off that album?
Through the Wire.
Wow.
It's been my favorite song. Like, it is, I know the whole song by, like, the back of my hand.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I think that it's sad because Kanye is never going to get the help that he needs because of the fact that he's so rich. He's so wealthy that nothing is ever
don't-
going to bring him back.
I don't believe that.
Really?
No. I'm always open to there's a possibility of change and the universe has a way of, or God has a way of working things out. I don't close the door on that, but for right now, I don't want to hear you.
You're not bringing anything good to this party?
I don't, yeah, I haven't
Yeah.
just written him off. He's crazy, that's it.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I still think there's a person there still developing and he still has more greatness in him.
Just look at the way he's
His
come.
mouth gets in his way, and that's where I'm like, all right, I'm good. Shut up.
I just
Mouth.
I think that that's part of the issue because of his access and his wealth that I'm not saying him as a person like, oh, I'm just writing him off. It's not him. It's the mental illness that has a hold on him.
Right.
That's not going to allow him to, because it's going to take,
It might be something later on that
No,
gets
I
in there.
still- I
like
still
he has
have-
all
I
these
still think-
kids that he
Exactly.
does care about. Like that might be what he needs to these kids to have free access to him and him to have completely free
A
access.
springboard for him to actually want to get better.
That's not always the case.
Right.
But that might be what he needs. There's
But that's why I would not just say, he's done. This is who he is. Nah, I still think there is room.
Yeah.
for
Because
hope
he
for
wasn't like
change.
this when he first came out. And then I feel like in the documentary you can kind of see some of that, like something going on here that wasn't like he wasn't completely stable from the beginning. I feel like in that documentary, you can kind of see at certain points, you're like, oh, there's something going on here. Like, I don't want, not that you're normal or anything like that, but I feel like you could see beginnings of something happening. The way that he likes certain things, and he was just very like
adamant, like it's finite. It's not. There's no room. This is what it is, and that's it.
That's also the mind of an artist.
Yeah, and it was even
when they
before
have a vision.
his mom.
That's it.
Exactly, and
And
they
good
usually
on
say
his part that
something.
he was uncompromising on his vision, but
Yeah, because then, and he's already gone through all of these development and changes and all this stuff before his mom and after his mom.
right.
But let's also talk about his school.
He has a school.
He
Ay,
has
Dios mío.
Donda Academy.
Yeah,
They
he's taking
sing.
his kids out of private school to try to put them in his school. He had an argument with Kim because he wanted to take them out of private school to put them in his school.
Yeah. Cult. Let's call it what
Cult?
it is. It's a cult.
Cult.
Has cult-like structure.
But I
Nobody
wanna know
there is
what
accredited.
parent looked into this school and said, "Yeah, this is where I want to put my child."
They have to sign NDAs.
Ay, Dios mío, that's crazy.
They have to sing Good Morning Donda.
Ay, Dios mío, that's crazy.
Yeah. So,
And this is part of the school curriculum.
it must be fun to have money. That's all I'm going to say. And then the tuition is like not even as much as like a private school, which is kind of surprising.
Really?
But I don't know. It could be like one of those like charter Montessori schools where it's like, let's just fucking give anybody like you go teach them
Yeah,
kids.
but now I hope they're doing, research or investigating, hoping these kids are getting a proper education.
Yeah. Well, when you are money,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. Your money.
Well,
True.
I'm gonna say
You
something.
cannot
and
know anything and still go off and be fucking successful. So it doesn't matter.
True.
Your money.
I want to say something, and I want to preface this with saying I'm not trying to gaslight anybody or be sexist. I happen to believe that Kim K is been at the source of this problem and will continue to be a source of his problem for years to come. Because I don't see anything, and I'm not trying to persecute that family because they don't need me to do that. They do that just fine on their own. I don't see her really instilling proper values or reality-based values to those children. And I felt like Kanye was going to be the counterbalance to all that had he not gotten ill. But even he has jumped so far into his ego, and now with his illness, I really feel for those children, but I feel like she is a complete disservice to him. I don't, he's sick, whatever. You understand it's for better, for worse.
Well, I think their life is a lot different because it's in front of the camera. So we're able to judge.
Yeah.
People are able to edit things. We don't really know what's happening between them as a marriage.
And
So
I
you
think
really can't say.
I think it's kind of unfair. Like, say what we want about Kim Kardashian as herself, but I feel like she does have a lot of. When it comes to her kids, she's a certain way with her kids.
That's what you get.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting. I feel like say what we want about that family in general, but I feel like when it comes to their kids, I feel like it's a little different. And I'm not to say that it's all fluff and stuff like that. I think it's just we don't see what goes on behind closed doors. We see they're a very strategic family. So
Well-
what they're doing behind closed doors, I don't think is what they're doing
Exactly.
in front of the public.
Well, I would think that if that's what you're putting out for public consumption, you're a bunch of smuts.
They're getting paid. It
But
don't
they're
even
getting
matter.
paid.
Oh.
Look at what they did
That's
to
what
them.
they care about.
That's the
They're
money.
getting paid. It don't even
And they have
matter.
the money that they can do that. They
Right.
can. It's at their disposal. They
Like
can.
them now, they're still gonna get a check.
Yeah. I don't. And they have the time and that they can spend with their
All right,
kids.
so
and
let's take
stuff.
Kim Kardashian out of the picture. Do you think Kanye would be a good single father?
If he wasn't ill? No,
We're talking about the man he is now.
No, I'm
We
saying.
wouldn't be talking to him if he wasn't ill.
No,
We're only talking about him because he's ill.
No, I get that. I'm asking you. If he wasn't ill, I would believe Kanye would be an amazing father.
I'm
Now
talking
that
about the
he's
man he
ill-
is now. We're talking about Kim
Ew.
now, the man
You
that
trying
he
to
is
keep
now.
correcting
No,
me?
I'm just telling you.
My God.
Wait a minute. I say she's a smut. We don't know what goes on behind closed doors.
That was before the smart comment.
All right. This is how I feel. I feel like in the instances that I've seen Kanye with North, not only is she a daddy's girl, but Kanye is like enamored with that little girl. For me, in my mind, when I see he looks at her and he's like, oh my God, my daughter. So to say, do I think he is a good father? I believe that he's a good father. He would have been an even better father had he had not become ill. It's sad, and I'd like to believe that at some point North would sort of anchor him and be the one to bring him down. That was my hope, because she seems to be very aware, you know, like very mature for her age. The only thing is, for me, I'm sorry. I think her mother's poison. That's what I believe.
I don't know how you could put the blame on one parent if they're both.
No, this is not blame.
All right.
This is not blame.
Whatever you call what you just said.
Whatever you want to call it.
Responsible.
No, you can't put the responsibility on one parent, because there's a partnership. So if one parent is going down, it's the responsibility of the other parent to lift them children up and lift this woman up. But if he ain't doing it, come on, everybody got to save Kanye. Come on now.
Well, let's examine this.
Everybody save Kanye.
No, that's not what I'm saying. Let's examine this for a minute. Who initiated the divorce? Kim did. Wait.
That's what the media tells us.
No,
We don't
wait.
know anything about
She never
that.
came out and denied that.
But why does she have to stay in a
Wait.
marriage that she's not getting her fulfillment?
Wait a minute. Hold on a
I don't
second.
understand
She got to play the nurse.
You know, now I am gonna
That's how it
gaslight.
usually is.
Now I am gonna gaslight. When a woman's in a relationship, when she's in a marriage, oh, she's not happy. She deserves to do da 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 da.
No.
What? Time out. That is the norm.
No, it's not.
When
No, it's not.
She
No,
just
it's
said
not.
it.
I don't even hear
You're
people
right.
talking
You
like
literally
that.
said that.
Wait. You know why? Because the
literally
man
just
will
said
kill
that.
the family. There you go. There you go.
You can't put these two in the room together, son.
That's why. Because the family's gone.
When a woman is unhappy in a marriage, I'm sorry. When a woman leaves a marriage, women stand up for her. Oh, she's unhappy. She shouldn't have to stay. When a man leaves a marriage, oh, he ain't no good. He's this, he's that. Take half his shit. Da, 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 da. Come on. For me,
we're talking two women that don't hear that as the norm. Go ahead, girl, go leave him. No.
you just said, you literally.
No, what I was doing.
She doesn't find her happiness there. She deserves to.
No. What I was doing was, you were saying that
You didn't say it.
feel
Chanel did.
you feel like Kim is doing a disservice to her children. So then I tried
she
to
is.
pose the same question: as how would he do if he was a single father?
Oh, I think he would do great.
And I think you're delusional.
Outside
He's a cuckoo bird.
No. Okay.
outside of his mental illness, I really feel like he would
But
do
we're talking
great.
about who he is, not what he
No.
could
Oh no,
be.
he
Yeah.
can't.
Who
No.
he is right now,
But
just like who Kim Kardashian is right now.
Who Kim Kardashian has always been. It doesn't
Always
negate
been.
the fact. It does not negate the fact that that woman, for me, looking at that life, complete disservice. She abandoned her husband.
Oh,
for her own.
No.
He got a wrench, left her ass.
Yeah, because she was trying to commit the dude. Was she not?
He was crazy. He
Oh, no,
needed
no,
help.
Come on. And who's supposed to help you in a marriage, for better or for worse?
She was trying to help him.
Yeah, let me. For real.
Forego the
All
law
right.
degree. Go get a medical degree so you can really help your man.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, no.
All right, next subject.
Yeah.
Sorry, buddy. That's
When
the
a
problem.
woman
It's
leaves
always
a marriage,
expected
she
that
wasn't-
the woman is supposed to. Oh,
It's
it's
not.
okay. Yes, you know why? Because look at Ariana Grande and Mac Miller. He was addicted to drugs. Mm-hmm. They
weren't married.
They broke up. They were together for a while.
Yeah, they
Very
were.
serious.
They were.
They broke up. And he was doing what he was doing, and he died. And everybody was like, she should have been helping him. Why? Why do I have to be your savior? You don't want to save yourself. Why do I have to sacrifice my life? And I've done what I can do. At a certain point, I cannot allow you to take me down and all my kids. Like, that's not cool. Then that's not fair. And a man should also do the same thing. Men leave relationships all the time. Because it's like you don't want to get help, or you're mentally
70% of all marriages that end in divorce is initiated by women.
I wonder why. I don't know. Yeah, because it ends death when it's the men's.
No, hold on. No. These are real numbers. I am not saying that no relationships have abusive situations or somebody's. I'm not saying that, but can we agree that not every marriage that ends in divorce that's initiated by a woman, by the numbers, is because she's being abused or she's not happy? People are honestly fleeting with happiness.
That's agreeable.
That's just a fact. People get married today for all the wrong reasons.
Right.
So whatever you base that on, and this is why I'm saying, for me, Kim Kardashian is doing a disservice to him. I get that he's crazy. I understand. That's a lot. But for me, I'm sorry. You was too quick to be like, I gotta live my life.
Well, how long were they together? And again, we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. Yeah,
right.
He's not punching her in the face, but at what point is it like, all right?
All right, let's take her off the table. Kim Kardashian is too much time. Yeah. So evidently, in the spirit of Hispanic Heritage Month, I'm gonna bring up some griminess that's going on. So as you know, Puerto Rico is being used by wealthy people as a tax haven, and a lot of people that have access to wealth, like Bitcoin millionaires and .comers and YouTubers and so on and so forth, are using Puerto Rico as a tax haven. On our show about Puerto Rico, we spoke briefly about these people. And one of the people that we called out were the Paul brothers, Jake Paul and Logan Paul. And recently, he came out and he called out Bad Bunny. Now, Bad Bunny, being a Puerto Rican and being as wealthy as he is, also qualifies to take advantage of this tax haven. And he's saying he's a hypocrite. Now, I took issue with that because, one, first of all, you ain't even Puerto Rican. Two, we are speaking to you, people like you, who come there to take advantage and don't do nothing. You don't. You have wealth and you went over there and bought some property. Do you do anything? Do you make jobs? Do you create jobs for the people of Puerto Rico? You want to privatize shit? You want to make shit your own and take... You stepping over people. You're not even a native or indigenous. You don't belong there. So the nerve of you to open up your little pink mouth to talk about Bad Bunny, who is a native of the country, you should be quiet. Like, you should really shut your mouth. And you know what? Puerto Ricans ain't nothing to play with. You'd be lucky if you get out of there alive. You keep running your mouth. Somebody might get a little annoyed by what you have to say. Puerto Rico is not in a place right now that you can really play around. You know, I know you got money, but you could end up getting chopped up into little pieces and put in a stew if you keep talking crazy. And Puerto Ricans love Bad Bunny, right?
I was just about to say that. His fandom is like...
It's crazy.
Maybe you shouldn't say things like that about Bad Bunny.
Maybe you should keep that to yourself.
Yeah, maybe you should keep that to yourself. I feel like he should, but it's what they do.
It's what they do.
Excuse me, like... Yeah, I'm doing this, but look at what that guy's doing. Like, well, what about that guy? Like,
stop worrying about.
Why don't you just worry
He's
about
trying
yourself.
to attach his name to someone who's popping right now, so they could talk about him.
Yeah, and he already has his own fame. That's my thing too. Like, don't try to attach your name, and then Bad Bunny, like he's from Puerto Rico. He also just. He lives there. Like, yeah. He is getting these benefits, but he lives there. It's not like he came from somewhere else like you did.
This is country of origin.
Exactly. Like, he didn't, it's not, he wasn't like, let me go over there.
Benefit.
Yeah. And I think he does, I'm pretty sure he puts into the community. But Logan Paul, he's like, oh, I put into the community. Look what I do. And then he's like, but if you have to put it on camera, you're not doing it for the selflessness of it. Or you're not doing it out of the kindness of your heart. You're doing it because it's going to benefit you.
So what did he do for community? He was throwing bounty tissues at people? What was he doing?
Going door to door, handing out sandwiches like they do. Get on sandwich. Fucking bozo. You don't even fight real boxers.
Yeah, that guy's an asshole.
Bozo, son. Like,
he's whack.
Yeah.
He's whack sauce. And it's like he became famous from being a YouTube star, him and his brother. And they're constantly getting into some shit. Like, they're constantly just being little assholes. Little baby buttholes. Like, all the time. And then they're like, but why? Like, look what you're
nobody
doing,
wants to
you
play
little
with
shit.
me.
Yeah. You're being an asshole.
Trench coat mafia?
It's yeah. They're ridiculous.
Trench coat mafia.
I don't know this joke.
It's a Chris Rock reference. Right? It's Chris Rock? Yeah. But overall, I think that people like Jake Paul, specifically the Paul brothers, you should be very careful about the things that you say and how you conduct yourself, because you're going to run into the wrong person. You know,
but you have to leave your mansion to do that.
No,
And they're not doing that.
Well, I'm just saying, there are a lot of people in this world that have money, and somebody's going to hear you, and they're going to see you in public. And I get that you box and everything, but
you won't box real boxers.
You definitely won't box real boxers. You might get hurt. Today, people are really getting hurt for saying reckless shit online. So maybe you want to just pump your brakes a little bit. All right. Mrs. A, you have anything to add to that?
Ditto.
What you said. I second that.
She's so poignant. All right, B. Chanel, you up.
Oop, forgot. Okay. So on the tailcoats of Kanye West, we can talk about Candace Owens.
Candace Owens?
Candace Owens.
Yeah.
You dumb asshole. No. She's just a hot ass mess. She's the one who took the picture, I'm pretty sure, of the Kanye West White Lives Matters thing and put it out there.
Oh, she had somebody take the picture of them standing next to each other?
She was at, I think she was like at the fashion show that it was taking place and all that stuff. So she took the picture. And then she just recently, I think like within the last day or two, she put out on her own podcast, which I'm not going to name, that a voice recording that she's saying that she got from Ray J of Whitney Houston, of Kim Kardashian talking shit about Whitney Houston. And I think Whitney Houston and black people, I'm not exactly sure.
I think that's kind of one of the same.
Yeah, just very much like about drugs and like all this stuff. But a lot of people are like, I'm like, who the fuck are you? Where did you? Are you friends with Ray J now? That you got this recording? And then a lot of people are like, that doesn't even sound like Kim Kardashian.
So let me understand this. It was a leaked tape.
A leaked voicemail.
Voicemail of Kim supposedly. Of Kim
Allegedly.
Kardashian talking shit about who?
Whitney Houston.
Whitney Houston.
To Ray J.
Yeah.
And his voicemail. I don't understand. How'd you get it? You're friends with Ray J now? I don't understand that part. Just the whole thing is really like, Candace Owens is a trash person.
Right.
The fact that we keep giving her a platform, not that we keep giving her a platform.
Yeah, I was going to say stop speaking French because we ain't giving nobody shit.
The fact that she keeps getting a platform.
White money.
Yeah, it's disgusting. Like, I don't think... When I lived in Florida, her book sold like crazy.
What did I just say? White money.
It was bonkers. But, like, Hispanic people, too.
Well, we have assimilated coconuts in this country, too.
That is true.
They brown on the outside and white on the inside. And there's a friend of mine that I constantly call. You assimilated coconuts, man. Y'all wearing me out, for real. Like, tired of y'all. But anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But it's the same thing. Like, why are we going to... But... I don't know. Maybe she'll fall off. Like, what's that other chick's name? Tomi
Lahren?
Wow, you brought
What
back a
happened to her?
name. What happened with her?
Last I heard, they found out that she was on Obamacare, and they were like, no. Or she was like, yeah.
But she was pro-abortion, too, so...
And that she was pro-abortion. They were like, oh, no, bitch, get out of here.
You can't talk.
Listen, let's be real about something. First of all, Candace Owens is a bozo. That, I'm just gonna say, I know there's people that I speak to online digitally, or digital friends that like her, and whatever their reasons are, that's cool. I could agree with some of the things that she says, but overall, she is just a talking head. She's just somebody that is doing things for clicks, because that's how she makes her living.
That's most people.
You follow my YouTube, you watch my podcast, I got more followers, I got more views. I'm getting $10,000, $15,000 a month because I got 30 million followers watching my stuff. You're going to get a YouTube check. And getting a YouTube check like that leads to you getting speaking engagements and going on Fox News and doing da-da-da-da-da. So, her rhetoric for me is regressive and it's backwards. You're telling black people to leave one political party for another political party who historically has never done anything for them. And that's a politician's job, to take care of everybody. It doesn't matter if you voted for me or not. If I'm the senator from Georgia and you're a minority voter and you didn't vote for me, it doesn't matter. You're still a Georgian. I have to try to take care of your interests too. I can't just write you off. And she's telling people, oh, leave the plantation. You know how insulting that fucking is? That's like super insulting. And these bozos who want to say, oh, I think for myself, I'm a free thinker. You're a fucking idiot. That's not free thinking. Now, if Candace Owens was coming out and saying we need to create our own party, then she'd be onto something. But she's not doing that.
That's free thinking.
That's free thinking, right? Because we all acknowledge and understand that this system needs to change. You can't change the system from within. That's not how it works. So her whole move for me is op. She's an op. She's an agent. If you getting white money from Breitbart, Fox News, this, that, you're an op. You're not for your people. And to see her or to see this, who are you, the Inquirer? Now you bringing up Raging and Kim K story? Like,
that's why I just didn't understand where are you coming from with this? Why is this relevant to what you're trying to promote? But it's like the Logan Paul thing. You're trying to connect your name to something because you already have this thing with this Kanye thing because it's another person kind of to you pushing your agenda.
Mm-hmm.
I think
it's all sensationalism.
No,
yeah.
Perfectly said. That's
what I think. So I just egg them all.
Yeah.
I don't really care.
Exactly.
Whatever. I don't care.
I think that this is something that people who have been watching the show know that for the past 3 years, we've always said that we want to get away from being starstruck. You know, we've had famous people on this show, people that have done great things, World Series winners, music producers that have worked with people that you love, like people that you follow, right? We've had visual artists that have done amazing work. And the one thing that we've always tried to drive home was to get away from that. Just be a person. Be regular.
Yep.
You understand? And I've met some amazing people in this journey that I've taken doing this podcast. And the one thing that I could appreciate is even though that they have achieved or have done and continue to do, that when I speak to them or we interact in any way, they don't treat me fucking different. They don't come around, switching their wrist because they got a big rollie on or showing their championship ring. We're all fucking people, and we need to remove that ignorance of being a moth, because that's what people are like now. The light goes on and boom, they fly into the fucking light. Like, this is like stupid as hell. And I wish I had the energy that you had. Yeah,
and a moth hitting light to me? What happened?
No.
You're the light.
And I just don't care. And people need to start having that sort of mindset, that disconnected mindset. Stop letting these people loop you into this retarded behavior.
I'm very particular on what I feed my mind.
Yeah.
So, it's bullshit. I'm good.
I'm the ride. I'm the amusement park. But overall, my message about this person is that people need to stop convincing themselves because she says shit that sounds good to them, that she's smart. I watched a piece of interview that she did with Joe Rogan, and I know a lot of people don't like Joe. A broke crock is right twice a day. I could fuck with Joe. He has interesting conversations, I'll say that much. But he had a conversation with her, and she looked way out of her league. I'll say that. She just looked way out of her league. And he undressed her respectfully. And I was like, how don't people see this? You understand? Like, I don't know everything. But woman, you get paid to talk. Mm. You should at least know what the fuck you talking about. Mm. And people need to start waking up to that. It's reactionary. Everybody is doing something for a reaction. Mm-hmm. So we're gonna move on because I don't want to talk about Kim Kardashian. So we brought up the story 2 or 3 weeks back about Adnan Syed, and as everybody knows, Ms. B. Chanel had her podcast called Gumshoe Weekly. So she's very fascinated with what's the genre?
True crime.
True crime genre. So we spoke about the story, and it's come down that his case has been vacated. His conviction has been vacated. So as of this moment, he's pretty much a free man. He doesn't have to wear an ankle bracelet or do any of that. And I think it's a beautiful thing.
It's very beautiful. I'm very passionate about this case.
Right.
It's definitely one that has stood with me because there's just so many.
Can you tell me like a little brief summary of the case? I haven't heard.
So in 1998, Adnan Syed, he's Pakistan, and he was in high school. He practiced his religion. Like his parents were very strict. His girlfriend goes missing, or his ex-girlfriend that he was like best friends with, like they were really close. She goes missing and turns up dead a week or so later. And the cops didn't really look into anybody else. They were just like, oh, it was you. They used cell phone towers, which is now something they don't do anymore. It was 1998. So they used pings from cell phone towers to like pinpoint him here. And his lawyer was this really famous lawyer, and she completely fucked his case up and was just like, because she was going through mental health stuff as well.
Oh, wow.
Wait, I didn't know that part.
Wow.
Yeah, she was hot mess. Like,
oh, wow.
He was like, oh, can you go and like this girl that goes to high school with me? She wrote to me and said that she remembers seeing me in the library. Like, can you look into her? And then he didn't look into it. He's like, hey, what happened? And she's like, oh, it didn't go anywhere. And the girl's like, yeah, she never talked to me.
So they locked his ass up for a good amount of years.
Like 28 something years. He's like 40 something now.
Oh, his whole life.
Basically.
So the freedom.
And at some point, they were like, look, we'll let you out. I think it was maybe 2017, 2018, around there. They were like, we'll let you go. You just have to plead guilty. And he was like, no, I'm not going to do it.
Oh, wow.
And he stood in. He like still practiced his religion. Like his family was out there. His best friend at the time when he was in high school, his sister was studying to be a lawyer, and she took on his case. And she like got all these people involved. Like 2 or 3 podcasts got started based on this.
Okay.
Like it's really
okay.
Yeah, it was a lot of exposure, and it was like at the beginning of when podcasts were like. Nothing, like nobody knew what a fucking podcast was.
Right.
And this woman was like, I'm going to talk about this case. Like she got him on it. There's a couple of really like important podcasts that went with it. But he got out when I spoke about it like 2-3 weeks ago.
Wow.
And they were like, well, the court has 30 days to decide if they're going to charge you and you have to go back or drop the charges completely. And they ended up dropping them. And it's been like a long ass fight for it. And
wow.
But there was these 2 other suspects. Like it's just so much shit, and they're all basing it on this one kid who kind of had a reputation for like lying and being a little shit. They based the whole case on this kid's confession that changed every time they spoke to him.
So ultimately, they locked him up for wild years.
Yeah.
He finally gained his freedom because they were like, yo, this is a terrible case. It was revisited because of the podcast. The people that were working and putting things out there and proof and evidence and that. Ultimately, he was freed. So now it went back into the court. The courts vacated their judgment against him, so he's completely free and he's innocent of anything. So the get back is going to be he's going to sue the shit out of them for taking 30 years of his life. I'm sure. I know I would sue the fuck out of everybody. The court reporter, the judge, the kid that was sitting in the back chewing gum. Everybody's getting sued. You know what I'm saying?
It's just so crazy that if you really look at it, what has changed from just this one case? There's thousands and thousands of cases all over in New York, probably alone, that are just like this kid's case.
Well, I think it's called the Innocence Project. The Innocence Project is something that sort of their aim is to work with people that are declaring their innocence that have been incarcerated to look at their cases. And they can't look at every case, but a lot of the cases they do look at. People. I mean, I worked with. I had 2 guys working underneath me, and one, salute to my guy, Mike Melendez, all the way down in North Carolina, still doing his thing to this day, and he was a part of that. And one guy was up for murder. They pinned a murder on him, and he did almost 30 years, you know. And he came to work with me. The young guys loved him, and he was an old dude, but he used to take them. He used to talk so much shit to them that they would play him in basketball after work, and he would bust everybody's ass. Like, nobody could beat him. But he made such a connection with the young guys. They respected him. But he was just a really, like this gentleman, his name was Jerome. But he was such a good dude, like a good-hearted person. You never saw him angry or whatever, but to think that this man sat behind bars for almost 30 years for a murder he didn't commit. And he told me, he was like, I ain't gonna lie, I was in the building. I just so happened to live there, but I didn't kill that guy.
Yeah.
You know, and people, you know, that's why I don't know if you look out into the way people are now with these cult of personalities of getting roped into, oh, somebody's saying something, so I'm joining the fray. People don't look at people who are convicted or put in jail as people anymore. They're like, oh, they're a fucking criminal, they deserve it. But as soon as a cop gets pulled over for beating the shit out of his wife or dealing drugs or running gun or doing anything corrupt, oh, but, you know, what was he going through? Who gives a fuck? Throw him under the
facts come out first.
Yeah, oh yeah. We need more evidence. We don't know what happened before the video started. No. Did you hear the story about the cop that shot that kid that was sitting in his car eating a hamburger?
He was just in the parking lot with his girlfriend in the car eating.
So evidently, this rookie we're gonna veer. Evidently, this rookie police officer walks up on this car. He claims that this gentleman's car had plates from another car or a stolen car, and that's why he approached him. He recognized him from a week ago. So he walked up on him, opened his door, and was like, hey, like trying to grab the kid out the car or whatever. I don't remember how it went in the video, but it was something to that effect. And the kid's like with his burger, like, what the fuck? And goes to peel off. And he immediately, no hesitation, just pulls his gun out, pop, 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 like 5-6 shots. The kid was hit. I think his girlfriend got hit, but they're okay. They're going to live. They fired him.
But they're suing the shit out of them, right?
I'm sure.
I want to say I saw something like that they were going to sue them or something like that. I don't remember. So
what I do when things like this happen is I go and read comments. You know, just to get
angry.
No. To know that I'm not fucking crazy, that people are stupid. And you read the comments. Oh, well, he engaged his car and the officer feared for his life. Why didn't
that kid was fearing for his life?
Why didn't he run? He should have just complied.
They love that one. If you have nothing to hide, why are you running? Bitch, because I'm scared.
Hello?
I'd rather run.
Find a flame out.
Yeah. Human nature. That is the whole thing. Like, that shit don't make no sense.
And what I find interesting, too, is that you're always going to find people that are just ready and willing to make excuses for what those who are charged with enforcing the law do. So they beat the shit out of this dude. Why he just ain't put his hands behind his back? They put a bullet in his back. Why did he run? When they shoot him for having a phone in his hand, oh, he should have just got down on the ground when they told him to. Like, it's insane to think, you know, that people are just willfully ignorant in that way. And then people hit me with the argument, well, they kill white people more. This is their argument. Police kill more white people than black people. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. Do you know why? Do you care to know why? Because white people, when they get killed by police, if you look at the statistics, are armed and more times than over aggressive. So what does that tell you about them? You know, we can't have that discussion because people want to get offended now. Oh, don't say that. Why not? It's the truth. Look at the FBI statistics. Who's the king of sexual assault and rape? Not us. Not us.
I think that I feel like it's kind of stupid to say defund the police. It's not a real thing. We do need the police, but I think a lot of revamping needs to go.
Re-educating.
Re-educating, and not on how to hold the gun, how to de-escalate a situation. Like, I think it just needs to be cleaned up from top to bottom, and you're always going to have some corrupt in it because you have it in everything. I just think it just needs to be cleaned up. Like, all that money you're putting into it, why don't you put it into, like...
I think it needs to be modernized.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they have teachings and strategies and just things that were from, like, 1950s.
Yeah.
Oh, we don't want that shit. 1950 police tactics?
That's what I'm saying.
Dude.
That's what I'm saying. They need to
you're saying that? Oh, okay. I see. I'm sorry. I was like, no, we don't need that shit.
They're still looking at the same playbook from 1950.
Yeah,
Well,
that's true.
The reality of it is, I won't say defund the police. Like, defunding them completely. No.
I don't even know what that means. What does that mean?
That means take their fucking money away. Like,
and then what?
No,
give it to things that need it, like school and education and all that.
But
stuff.
at what point, what money are we taking away? If they work a 9 to 5, they work in their hours.
No,
they get
it's not
what money are we taking
but see,
away?
hold on a second.
They don't need military grade weapons.
That's one.
To do it on the street. Like, you're a street cop. What the fuck you need an AK-47
And their budget is at least $1 billion or more dollars. $1 billion with a B.
So why aren't they catching criminals? And the podcasters are the one catching criminals.
But that's what I'm
This
saying.
money.
Like, a lot of this needs to be revamped. Why is amateur sleuths solving this kid's fucking case?
Exactly.
And it's hard to, like, that program that you were talking about. Why is it only on these people to care?
Oh, the Innocence Project.
Yeah. And it's just
Because
this
they
small
care.
one. And that's the thing that sucks. Why isn't there, like, they can only do but so much. And like I said, thousands and thousands of cases that are just not going to ever be seen. These kids are never going to see the light of day, or these grown men are never going to see the light of day. And now they have to live with this trauma.
Where do you think all the money resides? All the money, because America's about business, and big business at that. All the money is in the problem. It's not in the cure.
Yeah, of course. But that's what I'm saying. It needs to be put in. Throw some money at that problem and fix it. Let's find the cure.
That's not how capitalism works.
Of course. I mean, I'm not.
That's just the truth about the situation. Capitalism doesn't work that way. And people, you have to, I feel like the dishonesty with people right now in this moment, in 2022, is just rampant. People are they love to lie. They lie about circumstances. They lie about situations. They lie. They just love to fucking lie.
Well, the beautiful thing is now that everything's on camera. Everybody's catching everything.
But then they lie about that shit too. Look at up. There was a cop. There was a cop that had his body camera on that he thought was off, and he was planting drugs. It happened in Staten Island.
I know.
He was planting drugs, and they tried to hit us with that's not really what happened. No, what happened
they're
was
gaslighting.
Alternate facts.
like alternative facts, really. And that's the thing. I feel like, and I think we were having this conversation recently. I feel like becoming a police officer, because we need police. Crime is real, right?
It is.
Becoming a police officer should be like going to college. Or going to the military. You got to go through a boot camp, and it's not 8 months, it's 3 to 5 years. Like, you got to be trained in de-escalation, hand-to-hand combat. Like, there's no reason why
your gun shouldn't be your first instinct.
Neutralizing the threat, like, that doesn't work.
No.
There's no reason why a 65-year-old woman having an episode in her home in the projects in the Upper East Side or Spanish Harlem or whatever, there's no reason why that woman, who they know she's holding a bat, having an episode, should catch 5 bullets.
Yeah.
You scared? You don't need to be a cop.
Mm-hmm.
And people are like, but why don't you? I didn't choose that job.
Exactly.
I don't want that job. Stop complaining about your fucking choice of employment and do your fucking job the right way. Like, stop making excuses. That's just the bottom line.
I think they should call in mental health experts when it comes to situations like that.
No money in that.
But they got money for tactical gear and everything. Why don't you just...
That's what I'm saying.
We got money for that and to fight and to pay people off after we kill their loved ones. Mm-hmm. That's just the truth. And
sad.
It is.
Sad.
Well, it's America. When the fuck did America ever care about the way we feel?
Nope.
And it's not bashing. You listen, if we can't talk honestly about shit, listen.
It's bashing. No.
Yeah. Like, but she's out here crying about how miserable she is in her marriage. marriage. For better, for worse, baby. For better. I was getting booed in the room.
Oh my God.
One of the viewers was booing in the room. She's like, nope, that don't have to be that way no more.
Nope. And that's why, yeah, marriage is, the divorce rate is higher now than it was then.
Mm-hmm.
But that is because you don't have to stay with your abusive husband. You don't have to stay with this person who's manipulating you. Yeah. Same thing for a man. You don't have to stay with this person who's abusing you.
But the statistics really bear out that those numbers that I repeated to you about women initiating divorce, those are real. Like, you could really
I have to read the stats.
What about the men, though? What about the men that kill their whole family? What about those people? What's the statistics on them? That's what I'm saying. They don't think. You don't see a woman go and massacre her whole family because she got a side piece. You see men go and massacre their whole family.
Wait a minute.
Because they got a side piece and they don't know how to fucking deal with it.
I seem to recall a woman driving her 3 little kids into a river and acting like a black dude stole her car with her kids in it. I remember that. Y'all forgot about that?
Okay, what was her name?
I don't remember her name.
What was the name of the guy who put his wife and his 3 kids in a fucking water tank? Everybody knows that guy's name.
In a water tank. Wow.
Yeah, he killed them. Was like, oh, I don't know where they are, and they were on his job site in a water tank.
What?
Or oil tank, one of those.
Right.
But that's what I mean. Like are
we weighing the balances of who does the worst?
What I'm saying.
See,
men don't want to get divorced because they want to kill.
I think humans in general, we all messed up.
No, people are definitely
it has nothing to do with gender. Nothing.
No, it doesn't.
It's not okay. Let's not go down this slippery slope. I am just stating, and again, you could look this up.
I will.
Right. You can look
do
it
it
up
right now.
The divorces are initiated predominantly by women. And again, I preface that with saying, not every divorce is because somebody's being abused or whatever. But that's something to look at. I think people marry for the wrong reasons. I'll say that.
That's understandable.
Because if you're marrying for happiness, you're bugging. Because marriage is work. Period. I'm gonna wake up today and I'm gonna be on some bullshit. She might wake up today and be on some bullshit, and we'll both be like, "No, it's not me. It's you." That's people. Humans are humans. We're flawed. Yeah. Right? You have to work at your marriage. But if you're a person that's basing it on frivolous bullshit, like how many likes, or you didn't like my picture, or you base it on finances, you need finances in a relationship. But just because I'm making 100 and she's making 100, and then tomorrow I wake up, she's making $150, and she's gonna be like, "Oh, fuck you, I don't need you. I got $150,000. I make more money than you. I'm telling you what to do." That's not why you get married.
Right.
That's not how it works. People don't really have a solid understanding of what it means to be married.
That's the work that it takes to keep a marriage.
Exactly.
And a partner.
They want to be T.I. and Tiny when they should be like Florida and James.
I can't really say anything. I don't 100% believe in marriage. I think to me, it's a business agreement, and I think that's stupid.
But you just put the meaning on it and said the meaning stupid.
No, meaning, all right. Fair. I just think.
That's your interpretation.
Yeah, I feel
business?
Not even business. It's like my whole life has to change because of this piece of paper.
How?
I've just always looked at it that way. I just don't. I think people put so much into marriage, and it's like, I totally understand it is something that you do have to work at. But I feel like the fact that this changes.
What changes?
Everything.
What?
Your finances, your name, like
what
it's
changes
just
about your finances?
You take on their debt.
Yeah, like there's so much shit. Like
he takes on your debt.
Think about it. I don't know if you still got it, but
I don't
at
see
some
it as
point,
a business arrangement. I respect the you.
I just don't. I'm gonna get married. Obviously, I'm engaged, but to think that this is what it like, I'm gonna love you more because I'm married, like that. I just don't. I don't believe that. I just think
I see it as it is definitely a piece of paper.
Yeah.
However, it's the ultimate commitment that you're saying in front of everyone, the government, everyone. I'm committing myself to you, and vice versa. Mm-hmm. That's one. Number two, I kind of felt that way until I actually got married. Sounds crazy, sounds corny, but when the I do's were exchanged in the last kiss, and it's like, wow, I'm actually married, it does change something.
I'm sure
your person,
my opinion might change.
It does. It is like, oh, now we're above everything and we won't have any problems and everything's perfect. And that's not it. It's a certain change that does happen. I don't know if it's in your soul. I don't know what it is, but you do feel different. Do you agree?
I don't, but yeah.
But you're not married. You wouldn't even know.
Yeah, that's fair. Maybe it'll change.
I'm speaking from
being married. Yeah.
From a married perspective.
From walking down the aisle feeling the same way you did, and then coming out on the other side.
Damn, you was feeling that way going down the aisle?
I was like, damn, what we doing?
At least you can't say she's a liar.
Remember that.
All right. With that said, I want to thank my beautiful wife for filling in for our brother, Mr. Sasson. B. Chanel, as always, glad you made it back. Glad you're feeling better. I hope everybody enjoyed the show. We'll be back next week, and things are going to be different next week, so make sure you tune in, 7 p.m. As always, I'm Mr. A.
B. Chanel.
Mrs. A?
This is the Set 6145. We'll see you next week.